When it's cold outside, what I really like to drink is a hot toddy style drink, like a hot cider or a mulled wine. What I'm going to show you how to make today is a hot port, and being Cypriot, the best kind of port or sweet wine is Commandaria as far as I'm concerned. So I'm going to show you how you can make a lovely, warming, aromatic mulled Commandaria. First thing you need to do is get some Commandaria, and you, depending on how many people you're making it for, I've got about 500 millilitres here, and I'm going to pop them into my pan and just slowly allow that to warm with 2 tablespoons of sugar. Don't forget that Commandaria is a port and it's a sweet wine, so it's quite sweet already. And because it's a port, it's got quite high alcohol. Depending on how tipsy you want to get, I sometimes add a little bit of water. So to 500 millilitres of Commandaria or port, I'm going to add about 150 to 200 millilitres of water, just to kind of not make it so alcoholic. But if you want it to be, hey, why not? I'm going to add 10 cloves. Going to give that lovely Christmassy feel, and the spices. The spices are what make it. I've got half a teaspoon of freshly grated nutmeg. I've got a really heaped teaspoon of ginger, another half a teaspoon of allspice, and a heaped teaspoon of cinnamon. So you want to balance those spices beautifully, and they're going to make the room smell amazing. So they just all go into the pan like so. And then I'm going to add some zest. Now, some people like to grate their zest in and have really fine bits of zest. I'm not one of them. I like chunky, bitter flavour of the zest. So I'm going to use a really kind of tough zester like this one, and just take little chunks out of the orange, so everyone gets a little bit of that lovely, slightly bitter zest in their wine. So you just want to make sure it's quite small strands, not great big ones that you put in a cake, because they might get stuck in your throat. And it already is smelling pretty amazing over here, because there's the smell of the Commandaria, all the spices that are warming up so nicely, just like so. Now, if you don't want to add water, you can add the juice of an orange, or you can add a little bit of lime to give it a kind of slightly sour zing to it. But then what I'm going to do with this orange, because I'm not going to use the juice, I actually want the pieces, because I quite like getting a little bobbing bit of fruit in my mulled wine. So sometimes I put bits of apple, sometimes I put bits of pear, but now I'm just going to chop up the orange here, like so. It doesn't matter that you've got these kind of funny ends where I've taken the zest, so cut them into quite small pieces so they're not too big for the glass. I'm just going to pop those in as well. The secret to this is a little bit of patience. You just need a little bit of patience there to just let that simmer. So do not bring it to the boil. If you bring it to the boil, you just boil off all the alcohol, which we don't want to do that. We just want it to warm slightly till all the spices have mixed in really well, because especially cinnamon, it tends to sit at the top and doesn't blend in. So the cinnamon needs to kind of get caught into the liquid, and then you know it's ready. I think that takes about 10 minutes of gently stirring and warming. Well, it smells like rather delicious mulled port. Let's see if I've got the tastes right. Make sure you get a little bit of the fruit in, not too much, with every glass. That. Oop. And let's have a little taste. Oh, that's perfect. That's like the whole essence of Christmas in a warm glass. Cheers.